Well, this is how we are going to have the sidebar. We're going to create two sidebars. One will be for the desktop sized devices, and the other one will be for mobile devices. So we're going to start with the desktop sidebar, and then later we're going to do the mobile sidebar. Why are we doing this? Because we want the sidebar to be responsive, such that if the sidebar is viewed on a mobile phone, we hide it, so that when a person wants to display it, they'll just be clicking on this hamburger that we can see from on top here. But if it is a desktop device, then we have the sidebar clearly displayed. Now, to make that possible, we'll have to create two. For this case, you can use different ways, but for this case we're just going to have two, so that we can style them, modify them in such a way that we're going to hide one based on which device it is being viewed on. So we're going to hide, of course, the mobile sidebar. So our two sidebars, that is the desktop sidebar and the mobile sidebar, we are going to wrap them within a div. So for that case, I'm just going to come and create a div here, and within this div we're now going to come and have our two sidebars. So we'll start with the desktop sidebar. So here I can just come and say desktop sidebar starts here, and I'll also want to mark where it ends. So I'm just going to duplicate that, and I'm just going to come and change these two ends, and I'll duplicate this so that now we have the mobile view or mobile sidebar comments. So I'm just going to come and change these to mobile. So mobile, like so. So we have those two sidebars now within that div. Now let us style our div first before we do anything else. And because we are using Tailwind Css, we'll just create a class, and we are now going to have our utilities here. So the CSS utilities, so we're going to start with flex. For the height, it will be full screen, so I just come and say H screen. For the BG, I'm going to give it a gray, so gray. That will be for the right theme. For the dark theme, I'm going to have the same glare, but this time loud it will be more concentrated. I can talk of 900, like so. Okay, now we want to also play around with whether it will be shown or hidden. So I'm going to have another class here of when it is viewed on a mobile device. We won't to have it hidden. So for that to be possible, I'll just come and create a class here. I'll have some curly brackets, and within that I'm just going to come and say overflow is equals or hyphen hidden. Okay, so now after that, you're also going to have yet another class here. So I'll put a full colon and say is sidebar, not sidebar rather, but side menu open. So just like that, and we are done with the styling of that specific div. So now we can go right ahead to create the desktop sidebar. So I will just come and have a side here. So all the sidebar components or items will appear within this. Let me also style it a little bit. So I'm just going to come and put what class. So I'll say class is equals to, so I'll start with having a flex of shrink. It will be shrink 0. It will also be hidden. We are going to have it with a width of 64 and an overflow, so this will just make it to be scrollable if you have a lot of items in it, and given the size of the device it is being viewed on, it can either have the scroll bar or not. Like if the size of the device is small than the items within it, that is the links or the pages, then it will like have the scroll bar so that you can be able to scroll to see the various menu items or menu links. But if it is so big, then it will just like ignore the scroll bar. So I'm just going to come and say overflow. We're going to see what I mean by that practically, so don't worry if you have not yet understood what I mean. I'm also giving it a BG of white, and that will be for the light theme. For the dark theme it will be of course gray, so we say BG gray 800. And on a medium size device it will be block. Yeah, so that's it. So now we're going to have a div here. So you say div, and within here of course you're now going to have the link items. So let me first of all do what style this. So I'll come and give it a padding of 4, a text color of gray 500, and for the dark we're going to have the text being gray 400. You can see when we are like talking about every specific CS utility, we are applying one for the light theme and the other one for the dark theme. And if it is the dark theme, we have to like start with dark, yes, so that this will be the color that will be displayed for the text within this aside or within this div when it is like when the whole page is on dark theme. Like when you select dark theme, this will be the color that will be used to display the text, and this will be the color that will be used to display the text on a light theme. Okay, now that we have that, we can come and have the rings here. So we'll have the first one here. For our case it will just read us to nowhere, so we're just going to put a hyphen there, and I want to style it, so I'm just going to come and have it with a class. So class, and the first one will be for the margin right, so that will be 6. The text will be large and font will be bold, and the text will be gray 800 for the light theme, and for the dark theme it will be gray text gray 200. Of course you don't want it to be black because it will be on a dark theme, so we say 200. So this will be for the title that will be appearing here for our page. So I'll just come here and give it a name. It can be any name. We're going to see where it appears. So just say sidebar. So let's refresh our page maybe. So we first of all see what is happening. Sure, we have it there, but I think we have a problem. We have a very big problem, because now this one comes down here, and instead we should just have it on top there. So let me see what's the problem. Okay, it has taken me 5 minutes to try and fix the issue, but luckily enough, fortunately, I'm able to know what is the problem, and I'm just going to share it with you right here. So the mistake that remained is this div that we have created here, that is inside the sidebar. It should like wrap everything within the body. So like if I click on this specific div here, you find like it is sort of it even doesn't have an end, which is giving us a problem. And even if we come and say have it somewhere here, it will still not fix our problem. So this div that we have it open here, we should just close it just below here. So we should have it closed here, so that now everything within the body is wrapped within this specific div. So that's the first mistake, but still that doesn't fix the problem, because we have also missed another div or another container that's very important, and that is the div that should like wrap our header. That's why you see our header is appearing here instead of being on top here. That is the top bar, so we should have it on top here, but right now we are having it here because we don't have it wrapped within within a div. So here I'm going to create a div, and so that now it can be that vertical style that we want. I'm going to give it a class, and the first thing that I will do, because I want to like determine how it's going to be read out, because I want it to be horizontal in one column, I'm just going to come and say flex col, and then flex 1. So by just doing that now, I'll have fixed the issue, so that now we have the top bar appearing there, so that now we have the space for our sidebar. So this is just to help me align it that way. So I'm just going to come and get rid of this, and this div that I've just created should like wrap the whole of the header. As you can see here, we have the header, so we should just go to where the header is closed, right about here. I put it there, and so now if I refresh this, we should have that issue fixed. Yeah, so as you can see now we have that, and if I now go to the desktop view, we have the sidebar there, and we have the top bar appearing there, and if I click on it like that, we should have it appear like that. But we have a problem because this one should be white. I don't know why it is still dark, but that's a small thing. We're going to see how we can fix that. So we're just going to go to that anchor tag maybe before we proceed with anything else. So it is right about here. So text LG, so we have not talked about, we talked about 800 text graph. Okay, maybe it is this space here. Yeah, it was the space. So now we have the sidebar there appearing in white in dark theme, and when we click on this, now it is black because we are on the right theme. Cool. So let's proceed on. So now that was for the for the title. That was for the title. So now we can now continue to the link items, and we're just going to create an ordered list. We're just going to create an unordered list so that can help us to like order our items. So we're going to have an ordered list that is below the anchor tag or below the link there. So I'm just going to come and say UL, and within this we're going to have our first LI. But before we proceed with anything else, just a moment, LI. Before we proceed with anything else, let's first of all style our unordered list. So as usual, you say class, and we just say the margin top should be 6. That's it. And so now we can go to our links here. So first of all, before we have the link, we're going to style our LI. So I'm just going to come and say class is equals to, and we'll have it having a class of relative, padding of 6 and padding y of 3. Just that. Now we're now going to have the link item. I don't know how to call it, that link that you're going to click so that you're taken to a specific page. So I'm going to have an anchor tag here. For this one, I'm just going to have a hatch, and here I'm going to have a class because I want to style this. So I'm just going to come and say class, and the first thing we're going to have is inline flex, items being centered, so item center, a width of full, text being small. We're also going to have the font being semi-bold, and transition colors, transition color, and we're going to have the duration being like the transitioning of the colors. We're going to have it with a duration of 150. For the hover of the text, we're going to have it with text glare 800, and on a dark theme, the hover will be text glare 200. So we have it like that. So this one should be inline, and of course we now need to have the name. So we want to have a space because we're going to have an SVG icon. So for that we need a space between the two, so we can have we can have it within a span, and we give this span a class of margin left of 4. And here we can just come and see dashboard. Okay, let's see how that looks like. Maybe so we refresh the page and we have the sidebar there. Now we just left to have the icon. So the icon will be just an SVG, so I'm just going to copy it to get the icon. You can get the icon from the internet. I would recommend the Tailwind Css icons. They call it, I think, uni-icons. Yeah, uni-icons. You can try to search for that on the internet. You're just going to find it right there. So for me, I'm just going to copy it from my already finished project. So just give me a minute. We're just going to have a few total mass that we have all the links that we have in this finished project. Yes, so I'm just going to come and copy that. Yeah, so this is just to sort of give you an idea. So I'm just going to have that here. So let's try to refresh and see if we're going to have it there. Okay. Yeah, looks like we require the internet for that. Let me just connect to my internet here. Just a moment. Alright, so we have it there. So it requires an internet connection for you to be able to have that specific SVG icon there. So I had to connect to my cellular data. Okay, so that's it, and I'm just going to have two. Yeah, because I just want to give you an idea of how these ones will work. And let me just duplicate this one. I'll just duplicate this one just so that we can save time, but of course you get the idea of how you can go about that. So I'm just going to copy the LI alone. So Shift Alt, the arrow pointing downwards on the keyboard, and that will have that duplicated, and I can just come and change the name here from dashboard, and I can call it what? I can call it sidebar. Okay, now the other that I want to show you is the collapsible. I want to show you that link that will be collapsing, so that you just like see one, but when you click on it you see a list of other items. So I just want to show you how you can go about that. That will be below the sidebar that we've just created. Okay, so what we're going to do is just below this LI, we're going to have another LI. But still remember it is within the UL, that they are not at least. So LI, and I'm just going to first of all give these LI some CSS classes. So utility classes or relative px/6 and py of 3, just like the rest. And inside here I'm going to have a button, and I'm going to style this button. So I'm going to have here a class, and I'll have it with inline flex items center, justify between, and width of full, text small, font semi-bold, transition of colors, transition colors, duration 150, just like with the rest. Duration 150. For the hover of the text, you're going to have that being gray 800, and for the dark you're going to have text gray 200. Yeah, so just like that. And because this will be a button that will be clicked to like collapse, so that we see items within it, we're just going to, just below that, so if I may expand this, here I'm going to come and have the art click. Like when it's clicked, what should happen? So we should come and say toggle pages menu. Okay, we have a problem here. Yeah, should be like that. And now below that we are going to have the area pop-up. So has pop-up, and that should be true. So that will make it to pop up so when it is clicked. So we're going to have an icon for that. So I'm going to have that within a span, and of course I'm going to style this span, so I will have it with an inline of flex, and we'll have the items in it aligned center. Flex items center. Yeah, so here we are just going to have an SVG. So as usual, I'm just going to grab that from already finished project here. If I may just latch to the pages, just a moment. Almost there. So this is the SVG that I need for that. So I can just come and have it here. I'll be leaving a link in the description of this video from where you can be able to grab some SVG icons if you need so. And now just below that we're going to have the name, so that is spam, and these will be the pages, and of course we're going to have this style a little bit. We just care about the margin, so let's say ML4 margin left. Yeah, and that's almost it. But we also want to have another SVG icon that will be showing us whether it is like something like this, that will be pointing up or down based on whether the menu is collapsed or it is like closed. So we're going to have another SVG for that. So I'm just going to have another span here, just so that we have a spacing between the two, and I'm just going to grab that specific SVG. Okay, I could have even copied the long one. So okay, yeah, so what we have here, this SVG is meant to be, let me just show you. This SVG, I'm just going to get rid of it because this SVG is the one that we should have here. Let me create a space here a little bit so that you guys can see what's happening. So that one should be there. And now what we should have on top here, what we should have inside here is this. So we should have this one. So that is the one that we should come and fix inside here. Let me just create a space a little bit here, like that. Yeah, let me just expand this a little bit so that it's clear. Yeah, so we have now something that looks like that. So we are now just left to have the specific items that will be within that collapsible stuff. So so that should come below the button, but maybe we can first of all see what is happening here. Let me just refresh the page so that we see whether we are making any positive progress. You're going to forgive me because my machine is a little bit slow. I'm looking to upgrade it. Yeah, but of course because of some constraints here and there, it may take me some time to upgrade, but finally I'll upgrade it in the long run. Yeah, so we have something that looks like this now. Yeah, so we have the pages, so like we want, when we click on this, to like display some items, and when we click it, it sort of hides those items. Okay, so you can now see this, the SVG, and this is the other SVG that you've just pasted there, and that should be hidden on a mobile device. So let's now have those items here. It's not a must, but just in case you want to have them, you can have them this way. So I'm just going to come and have a template here. This will be a tag. You sure it doesn't work that way? So let me okay, just wants me to follow the long route. I agree. Okay, so we're going to have those items now inside here. So we're going to have an unordered list, an ordered list, and within the unordered list we're going to, of course, to have the list themselves. So we're just going to say li. I can just have two here just for the sake of demonstration, so I will just duplicate that to make them two. And now of course we're going to have some utilities here. So I'm just going to come and say X transition. So this is just like how the items will be appearing, how they transition, how to move from hiding to showing them. So this will be equal to transition all. Sorry. And how it will do that, it's with this simple method of is in out. And I should also talk about the deletion, which should be 300. I'm going to repeat that again. Looks like I have a problem somewhere. Okay, should have that like that, and this one should not be there. Yes, it should be like that, so that now we can be able to just have that one like that. Yeah, so that it's clear and easy to understand. So X, so we're going to have yet another transition. So transition. So this one should be transition, and this one will be transition enter start. So like how will it start transition? So we should talk about that. So it will have an opacity of 2.5 and a max height of 0. Yet again we're going to have transition of enter end. How should it end? And we should talk about the opacity. I'm missing the spelling of the word opacity here. Should be this one, opacity. So I should also collect this to be opacity, and the max and we still have a few. So X transition rev start is equals to opacity 100 again, and just like with the previous one we will have the max HXL. Yeah, and finally we're going to style our unordered list. So we'll talk of class. So here the class will be the padding 2, margin top of 2, font medium, text gray 500, rounded MD, shadow of inner, a BG of gray 50, dark text, that is text on the dark theme, to be what, gray 400, and for the BG background on the dark theme, so dark BG gray 900. Okay, that's for the class. We will also have an area label, a label of submenu. Okay, so now we should now have the two items. So just going to come and style that. So again, the padding of 2, padding Y of 1, transition, transition colors, duration of 150, hover text 800, and for the dark it will be hover text 200. So we should now come in inside that, have the anchor tag, and we'll have it, of course, styled retrobit. So we'll have it with a class. We should not have these excess space. So for the class it will just be the width, so we'll say width 4. And so here we can have the link. We can just come and say login, and just to save time I'm just going to duplicate that. Maybe I can talk over sign up. So let's see how it looks like on a browser. Okay, it's not working for us, I don't know why. Alright, so first of all, we should not have this SVG inside that. We should in fact have it outside here. Let me also get rid of this, so we should have it somewhere here. If we may just try to order things here a little bit, something like that.
also create some spaces. This one can come this way. So this one is what we have starting from on top here. So the whole of that span now is taking all of those, including the span for the pages. And now outside that we are having the SVG. So here is the arrow. So let me just refresh the page. So you see where this arrow is, we should have it at the end here. So if I refresh that, as you can see now we have it there, but still it is not working. Like we should see the items appearing when we click, and we can to fix that, go to the template here. This is what we had missed. So in this template we should come and say x if is equals to, so this is one that will make the pop-up to appear. If you can remember, on top here we have on click toggle pages menu. So we want now to also include it somewhere here. So it should come and say is page menu open. So that one should be closed like that. So this is the one that should help us to open the specific items that we have or that we want to display. And by just doing that, I think there's a problem somewhere. We should have this one closed like that. Yes, so by just including that there, we get rid of this. We should now have that collapsible stuff working. So let me just refresh, just a moment. So when I click on it like that, you can see it appearing. When I click, it's hidden. Yeah, so something like that. So that's what I wanted to achieve there. And of course when I click on it like that, it should be hidden. Okay, so now that is working fine. Now that is the aside for the sidebar for the desktop. Now we are left to work on the mobile sidebar, and I just want to see the similarities that we have here, so that we see if we can be able to get rid of that. Okay, so let's go to the mobile. And so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to create a div. We're going to create a div here, and within this div we're going to have a few elements, few CSS utilities. So we'll start with x show. So this again, just like with if is the pages main open, like what we have here. So it's similar to what we have here. So like when it is clicked, we should be able to see all toggle between hiding and showing the side menu. So it should be within that div. So we should come and say is equals to is side menu open. So this basically will be helping us to toggle between showing and hiding the sidebar. Yeah, just as the, just that. And now we want now to play around with the transition. When we are hiding and showing the sidebar, we should have some like effects. So we're just going to grab the effects that we have here for the collapse
collapsible menu, so I'm just going to come and have them there, and I can just change a few values here. So this one should be 150, and for the height we're just going to do away with it. We don't want to have the height there. And for this one, the opacity, we can give it an opacity of 0. It's just the transition effects. You can have any values. You can just leave this one to 100, get rid of this. So we should also have end-to-end transition start. So this one, we can get rid of the start. We just leave the leave, just leave this, or just have this one left there. And we can just come and change this a little bit. Instead of opacity, we can talk of transition, and the talk of transition is in out. And a duration of 150. And we can now have the leave start. So X transition leave start. And we can talk of the opacity being 100. For the end, it will just be opacity 0, so we can get rid of that. Yeah, and that's it for that. Of course, we're going to have it with a class, so just below here we can talk of class, and we can talk of it being fixed in set of 0. We can talk of flex, so that we can be able to align items end. We'll give it a BG of black, a BG opacity we can talk of 50. For the small devices, we can say that the items should be centered, and again in small devices we can talk of justify center. That's it for that. So we're going to get out of that div, and now we are going to have the assigned. So outside that, we're going to come and have the assigned. So the items now will be within that, but before that we can now style this aside. So first we give it a class, and first we can talk of it being fixed in set of y0, set of 20, flex shrink, the height over 64, a margin of 16, overflow white, and for the dark theme it will be 800. For the MD sizes, it should be hidden. So now we can play around with hiding and showing it. So for that we just say x show is equals to is side menu open, side menu open. Then after that we're going to have the transitions, and I'm just going to grab what we have here just so that we can save some time, and we're just going to modify it a little bit. So I'm just going to come and have it there, and the first one is okay. The second one we're going to come and transform. So other than having, or on top of having the opacity of 0, we can also have a transform of 150. So for the enter end, we should just have the opacity of 100. That's okay. That one can remain as it is. This one can remain as it is. Of course, it should be opacity. Rev end, we can and transform translate. Transform translate x20. So let me just fix that there. Okay, so that's good to go, and now we can come and add the click here. So click dot away. So this should close the side menu. So we're just playing around with how this side menu will be hidden and shown when clicking the hamburger. So we can come and talk of close the side menu. Okay, so now after that, all we just now need to do is to copy the links, that is the link items or the menu items. So let me just see what we have here. What we need to copy, the whole of these div, this one here. So we should copy all of this until here. So let me just grab that instead of repeating that all over again, and it is the same thing. So just grab it from here, grab the whole of this. So
that, we copy that, so we can now come and have it here. So let's refresh the page and see if it is working, because I do hope right about now it should be working. As you can see, we are able to show it and hide it, only that we have a problem with the theme. These ones are also working fine. The theme is gold. I think we have a problem with the background color for the dark theme. So let me see how we can fix that. So just a second, we want to go to the side of the mobile, and I think it's just a small issue to do with the BG for the dark. Oh yes, so we should have a hyphen here. So as you can see now, it is appearing as you would expect. So it is full screen, and you have it that way. Get to a smaller size. Have it transitioning like that. And that's about it, but we can also state where the content will go, just because we have that part here for the main content, just in case you want to add some stuff inside there. We had some comments for the same here, so we can just create a div. And we can give it a class here. So class is equals a container, a grid, and a px of 6, mx of auto, text gray, 700, and we can talk of these the dark theme, the text to be gray 400. Okay, so we should continue to style again. Oh, sorry, we should also have okay, we should first of all have the main. So this one should be inside here, and we should style this because of the padding, so that we see that the height should be full, the padding bottom to be 16, and it should also have the overflow. So overflow, yeah, and we have it there. So all of that should be lapped within this div. So remember, this is the main div that is lapping everything within the body. And then you have the header being lapped within this. So even the main should be there, because we just like sprinting the top bar into this and this, and this one is being sprinted into this and this. Okay, so that's it with how you can be able to create a sidebar using Tailwind Css. So it is super easy when you just get used to it, and it just calls for a regular practice. When you just know what you're doing, then everything becomes easier. So if you like this content, kindly leave a like, subscribe to IT Skills Academy if you have not yet subscribed. If you have subscribed, thank you for your continued support. Just leave a comment or suggestion in the comment section below. Like the video, share it with your friends, and I'll be grateful for that. So thanks for watching, and as usual, see you in the next one.